Welcome in, everybody. It is another episode of Scarves and Spikes. Happy to be here on a Wednesday after a 5-1, I think in the words of Mike Conti, annihilation of the Portland Timbers at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Super
It
excited.
went down for sure.
Yeah, it feels good to be back, don't it?
My hangover's finally gone from the
Tommy's
weekend.
goal hangover.
I partied way too hard after that game. That Spaces was, as the kids say, lit. It was people coming in just excited. We had new people. We usually get the same amount of people usually that are speakers. We had new people coming in that were pumped, talking about it, and we asked every single person that came in, "Is Atlanta United back?" And we didn't get one no. Even though Sydney was a little down last week going into that game, he was a little scared. And I said, "Sydney, don't worry." And I got to say, I was right. There was no worry.
That's right.
But there was 1 second, but the referee decided to take that goal away early on.
Never in doubt. Never in doubt.
You know, when that goal came in, even though you couldn't see it during Apple, because Apple had a ton of broadcasting issues, like it kept going, like it was going in and out. And like I see the ref, like I'm following you guys on Twitter because you're tweeting it. And like when I see the goal go in, the first thing I thought about was, damn it, Sydney. You caused all of this. Your negativity got a goal early on in that game. The thing that we said we didn't want to happen was an early goal. But VAR said no to Sydney.
No to that negativity.
Sydney. No Sydney.
So I'll say two things. Number one, when Williamson scored that goal, that's ultimately disallowed. I was like, oh my gosh, here we go again. Atlanta is gonna need to chase this match now because Portland are in front, and ultimately, like we said, the goal is taken off the board via an offside call, I should say, singular, not plural. But Henry's saying Tyler's referee has helped us out a bit. The AR, his name was Ben Pilgrim, I believe, on Sunday or Saturday. So I'm not sure if that was the AR that called the off. Well,
he was the fourth official. Either way, he was in somebody's ear. He was helping out Atlanta. Cousin Ben.
Ben
Kenobi. All right, Sonny. Almada is heaven sent. We're going to talk all about Almada here tonight, but real quick, obviously make sure you guys, I got to do the quick plug, follow the Scarves and Spikes, Twitter, YouTube. Please subscribe on YouTube. It helps us out a ton, guys. We're trying to do so much for y'all. YouTube is really where the big one's at right now. So we would appreciate it if you guys make sure you're subscribed here. I'm sure you are if you're watching, but tell your friends and family and whoever else. YouTube, Twitter, Twitch as well. We love seeing the Twitch comments over here. Keep the comments coming in all evening, guys, because this is going to be a fun show with DJ EU coming on in a little bit. So just keep it going. And as far as us, you can look on the screen, but for those of y'all listening after the fact, make sure you follow myself, Tyler Pilgrim at ATL Pilgrim, Sydney Hunt at SH Wrights, and Tommy Moose at Tommy ATL 96. So with that, we do need to really quickly hit on a little bit of news that kind of just happened today, mostly for anybody that listens after the fact, through the formerly known as the Dirty South Soccer Podcast Network. If you get your podcast, your audio podcast, Spotify, Apple, whatever other podcatcher that you get your stuff in, you don't need to do anything, but you will notice here in the next couple of days that the name of the Dirty South Soccer Podcast Network is going to rebrand as the Atlanta Soccer Podcast Network. And that is mainly because of, and I'm not going to go into a huge history lesson here. Most of you guys probably already heard it, but with everything going on with SB Nation, Vox Media, and them shutting down many of the MLS blogs, Dirty South Soccer was saved, thankfully. But they cut all funding to any of the podcast streams that were on there, which just essentially meant that they gave the rights to, for lack of a better way of putting it, us and Five Stripe Final, mostly Five Stripe Final, because they've been around forever. But we are on that same podcast network. So That just means that when you get your podcast, your audio version of this show and any other show that we do, and the Five Stripe Final shows, it will be under the Atlanta Soccer Podcast Network, not the Dirty South Soccer feed, because that is not going to exist anymore. It will all just be known as Atlanta Soccer Podcast Network. So
yeah, and again, if you already subscribed, first of all, thank you. Second of all, nothing you need to do on your end, as Tyler said. You will, again, you won't need to do anything. You'll remain subscribed. However, if you're not subscribed to our podcast, you'll need to search Atlanta Soccer Podcast Network or Atlanta Soccer Podcast, and we should pop up there. But yeah, as far as Dirty South Soccer, it will still be around. Tyler and I will still be writing for Dirty South Soccer. But yeah, nothing in that regard has changed. The only thing that's changing again is the podcast network, the Atlanta Soccer Podcast Network. So again, if you're subscribed, nothing you need to do on your end. And yeah, again, if you're not subscribed, why not?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get a pen and I'll start writing something.
Hey,
I have paper.
Where are you going to be at this weekend? Tell us, Tommy.
I'm going to be in rainy Columbus.
Doing what?
Being rainy and watching Atlanta United probably with the 0-0 draw. Sorry, I'm already jumping ahead to predictions, but I just have a feeling this is going to be a very miserable cold game out there.
From the press box, though.
Yeah, I'm hanging out in the press box. That's going to be cool. My wife's jealous because they'll be out in the cold weather. But yeah, we're making a day of it. We're heading down there early, heading around the area and checking it out. Columbus is really, I don't even want to jump ahead of this, but like it's the city's growing with the team because the stadium is near things now. Old Crew Stadium was in the middle of nowhere, and there was like nowhere to tailgate. It was just a big parking lot, and that was like where everybody hung out. Where the new Crew Stadium, like it's by the hockey arena down there, and it's a real good time. So it seems like you're seeing more people. You're seeing people, party, and there's like seven bars down there, so everybody's usually hanging out there. I counted them today, so I know it's 7.
This is vital information.
Yes. But before we even get into that, Ariel's asking the question. I mean, I know we've answered it many times, but just bring it up on the screen because are we back?
Ariel asking, so are we back?
Are we back?
Change it. I said it on the ratings video the other day. We back. Calling it now. We back.
We're not back. I can say that.
Oh man.
No. I said we're not.
I'm just gonna pour this cold water all over me right now.
No. We're not back.
No.
Well,
look,
and Zilk puts right here, it's only been 4 games, and that's absolutely true. And you haven't faced opponents that have been crazy good. Like you've been playing some struggling teams, but what you can say is that these games last year, you were probably looking at a loss for a lot of them, and that I think that's the difference that you see is like you see a plan. There really wasn't a plan. Like how many times did people tweet, Pineda has no game plan. He doesn't know what he's doing. I haven't been seeing that as much. You see what their plan is, right? Like you're starting to understand what they want to do. You saw Giakoumakis come in. You saw what he wants to do, how he's trying to make those runs. Like you're seeing everything. And like some of the even the draw, like they should have won that game. The only game where you could say like, like this was not a very good game was the first one, and we pulled out a miracle win, which was great. But you went on the road, you won convincingly against a team that was struggling. We didn't do that last year. We played very bad teams on the road, and we got embarrassed. And then you come home, you play a Portland Timbers team. Let's just remind you, we played the Crew last year. The Crew were missing like 4 or 5 like very big players at the Benz. Should have beat them, and we got embarrassed in that game. I think it was like right before the break. We looked terrible.
Match, which now Austin was a good team, but that 3-0 loss at home last year, that was bad.
But like, and I think that like the Crew and Portland game are 2 games you could look at where Atlanta was closest full strength as they could be at that time, and they just couldn't do anything. This game, we went up against a shorthanded team, and still shocking that Portland actually came and they wanted to play. I thought they were just going to bunker the whole time. They wanted to play, so great for them. But like we won, And that, I think that's the difference of what you said. Because even last year when we won early, there were a lot of miracle goals late in the game. That Brooks Lennon video just came up. Whenever there's a crazy goal, I want to see it back in Facebook memories, like the next year and 10 years from now. The Brooks Lennon miracle, 2 goals, I think, in extra time to tie it. The Jake Mulroney miracle goal. Like, those were games where we looked terrible, but we still ended up winning. We're looking good for 75 to 80 minutes in these games. So that's where I find the huge difference of where we are from here to last year.
Yeah, I kind of joked about it, said, "Oh yeah, we're not back." But I mean, I said it during the ratings video, and we can get the tweet of the week and all of that in a little bit. But I said in the ratings video, it feels like 2017 and 2018 all over again.
It's got a vibe to it for sure.
It does. It does. And Tommy brought up a good point. How many times did we see Atlanta United lose a lot of those matches that they're tending to win, 4 games in? I know, the cynic will say, oh, yeah, it is 4 games in. I mean, yeah, it is 4 games in, 4 matches in, but it's hard to not rally around this team. And I kind of prematurely brought up the tweet of the week. I don't know if we want to hide this comment.
Yeah, wait, let's do it now. Let's do it now.
Yeah, I kind of prematurely put it up, but Lala Villalobos saying, or not saying on Twitter, but posting this picture of Miles Robinson on his knees with his hands on his head while Thiago's running out celebrating the goal. And for those listening on the podcast, over the picture of Miles, it says us. And Thiago, it says Thiago sweeping team player and goal of the week. So just my gosh, Thiago Almada. I mean, what can you say about him that hasn't been said already? It's just unbelievable. I'm so happy for that kid, just performing the way he's performing right now. Ariel saying Mercedes-Benz is turning into a fortress again. It feels like it. It really does feel like it. And I want to go back to something that Brooks Lennon said.
Here, real quick, put the tweet of the week back up, because I do want to point one thing out. I got to give a shout out to the guy that took this picture. He actually a listener of the show, listens to us.
Yeah.
If you've followed us on Instagram, he has tagged us in a couple of his videos, but he's there at every home match and he's taking these pictures. And he just captured this one of Miles just in disbelief after that free kick. Just, I mean, like everybody, but him on his knees with his hands on his head, just like, what the freaking heck did I just watch? But that picture was taken by a guy that listens to our show. Call him Eduardo. But you can, if you're watching, you can follow him because he's taking amazing pictures. He just started, I believe, fully this year. So I got to give him a shout out on Twitter, and I'm gonna have to spell it out for you. But on Twitter, his handle is Lala Villalobos, but it's LALLVILLALOB0S. So I got.
Can you say that 2 more times?
No. Rewind it, please. Just rewind it. Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah, I'll post it in the comments just so people who are watching the show live or watching it later can see it for themselves a little bit later on again. But yeah, going back to what Ariel was saying about Mercedes-Benz being a fortress, it really is. I mean, you want to be in a position where you want to make Mercedes-Benz Stadium this is a tough place to play, like it was in 2017 to 2018, and I feel like these 3 matches that they've played at home, outside of the one against Toronto, I mean, where they were the protagonists in that match, they could have gone away with 3 points, but they didn't. I think that's the only kind of black mark to this season thus far. But if you're 3-0-1, I mean, you can't do much better than that unless you're St. Louis City SC or 4-0 through their first 4 matches. And what a great story that is. But I really think that apart from St. Louis City and their hot start under Bradley Carnell in their first season. Atlanta United is the story of MLS, undoubtedly.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. It's the best start they've ever had to an MLS campaign.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you want. You know, you want to be this big club. You want to be this world-class club. You got to come out and crush it in the league. And yeah, I get it. We're all saying, hey, we're back. We're back. We're back. It feels like we're back. It's a good feeling. Genuinely. They've got to keep it consistent throughout the season, right? But you got a lot of games left to play. You got Leagues Cup, playoffs, which playoffs feel like another league by themselves. You got Open Cup, which is kicked off really yesterday. MLS won't enter for a little bit of time, but
I'm going to a U.S. Open Cup game tomorrow.
Heck yeah.
Nice.
So
it's at a random high school.
Can't wait. All right. So we are, as you guys know, we're going to be getting DJ EU on in just a little bit.
What does he go by? Is this something we can, like, I was thinking about this. I was going to put in our chat, but like, I'll just ask you guys because I think it's a fun question. Like, do you know, like, does he go by like a real name? This might be the dumbest question ever, but like,
I will
call him
tell you
DJ?
right now because he is listening, and just let me know. He just goes by EU.
EU.
Okay.
Straight up.
EU
EU.
is.
Okay.
That is it.
I got nervous, and I just wanted to make sure we get this all settled before he comes in, and like I call him DJ, and like.
Well, look, when he comes in, that can be the first thing that we hit on.
I get nervous about like introductions, like you say someone's name, like I said Yakimakis Ron like for 2 weeks in a row. Sadic, I called him something that I'm just not even gonna say what I was calling him for a while. So like
family show.
Yeah.
You're still
pronunciation
Etienne.
is rough, especially in soccer. Like hockey, there are some Russian names that I've messed up many times, but like overall, like you can handle it. Okay, but all right, we got it cleared. All right.
Cool.
All right. So we've kind of hit on all of our quick stuff. We do have some news to jump on here in a little bit. But the big thing is this Portland match. Like, what can you say about it that we haven't already hit on? I mean, you got probably goal of the year that came out of this match. You got Araujo getting his second in a row, which is one of the big, things that we'll talk about going into the next match in Columbus, because he's going to be the guy that's got to really be on one to get a good result. So he's got confidence going into the next match. Caleb Wiley just doing his thing at 18 years old. That is so exciting to watch. Yakimakis getting his first goal, and then just Almada overall just killing it, man. So where do we start?
I still feel if we talked about it last week. I was just catching up on the newest episode of Ted Lasso, sponsors Apple. But there was a scene in it where like there was a one with like Jamie Tart, and he's set up in almost like the exact same position, I think on the other side, and like everybody's like, it's too far. It's too far. He's not going to shoot it there. And I immediately thought of that right before that kick went. And I think my reaction was exactly how the whole coaching staff in that show was, about how crazy it was. Because like I'm like, there's no way he's going to go for this. And then it happened. And
no spoilers. I haven't seen it yet.
If it's beyond a year, there is. I'm sorry. Other aerial
season 2.
It was a season 2. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, season 2.
A different story.
Like you gotta watch, man. Like I told you this was your homework last week.
No season 3 spoilers. It was only season 2, but like
no season 3 spoilers.
No. But like it was just like it was a moment on a TV. It was like I was like, there's no way. There's no way it's gonna happen. And now we've gotten 3 moments of this. Yeah. And 4 weeks. It's fun. And then like you see these stats, like he leads the league in goals and assists. And then you got Wiley that's like in 4th in goals. Like that's fun. I mean that's old Atlanta United. Like everybody on the top of the scoring.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, there we go. He knows what I'm talking about. Yeah. Uncle Dave.
Ken says that the little prick's gonna score from here, and I want to do it in his voice so bad because I love him. But yeah, I mean, but I remember being up in the press box, and I turned over to Jackson Popkin. He's the one that runs the DSS Twitter during most matches, and I was like, And I even put it out on the Scarvers and Spikes Twitter. I was like, we got a free kick coming up. We're deep in Almada territory. And he's like, there's no way. That's like 30 something yards out. And I was like, he could do it. Not really expecting him to do it. And then he freaking does it. Like,
I just looked at Sam Jones like, oh my word.
Yeah, dude. Like, what are you doing that moment? I mean, I didn't stand up and block anybody's view, by the way. So I didn't have
So it
anyone.
wasn't that impressive.
just a killer, man. And then for Brad Gazan to come out in the locker room after talking about when he got admittedly dunked on by Messi back in, was it the Copa America in 2016? That free kick that Messi took from a similar distance with his left foot. Now that one was interesting, but left footed, and it was curling all the way across the face of goal. The beautiful thing about Almada's was that thing, and I said it in the ratings video, but it looked like it was headed up into the Terminus Legion sign somewhere. And that English he put on it sent it. Oh man, it was just happy to be able to have seen that live.
Yeah.
So
they're must watch again. Like that's what it is. Atlanta United is must watch. And I don't think we brought it up because I don't even think the story came out, but he immediately ran over to one of the trainers. I forget his name, but like this was the same trainer that Joseph Martinez immediately ran over to when he scored his first goal in Miami when he came back from that injury. And I guess Almada said that he's had some pain specifically in his ankle, I think.
That was going back to when he was out. Remember in Chattanooga, he didn't play and everybody expected him to. And then it was mentioned that he had some ankle pain.
I love when you see that, because like those are a lot of unsung heroes right there. The training staff and some of the coaches and people that work with you. So to see him go run and hug him, I immediately I had a flashback to Joseph there, because I think Joseph went and kneeled to him. I think that's how that all went down. So yeah, that was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, and and I loved. I don't know if you guys have seen the video that they took. It was from the bench, facing out towards the goal, and the moment. I mean, you just see them all watching it, and I don't think anybody was expecting Almada. I think the only one in the stadium that really knew Almada was going to take it was Almada, because even Pineda after the fact, he mentioned, I was just watching it like everybody else in the stadium. I didn't know he was going to do that. So you just got to take it in, man. Just enjoy it. Enjoy him while he's here, because he ain't going to be here long. Not breaking any news here, but he ain't going to be here long. So enjoy him while he's here. Have fun watching.
He's got to finish the season. He's got to.
I hope so, man. But it seems less likely every time he steps on the pitch.
I mean, maybe sell him and, then they loan him back to us for the remainder of the year. Yeah. I mean, that's been, something that's happened quite frequently in MLS. Or you make a early, you make it for the future, the transfer or whatever. Like, I don't know. I feel like this is the Almiron last year, right? Like he was getting up and going, and maybe he didn't have a successful first year as Almiron did, but like you saw it was there, and now he's here, and let's make a run, baby. Let's make a run.
The only question is how much he'll be sold by, and kind of plug my own work on MLSsoccer.com. The side that I had was to kind of get a feel from the players, like, can he break Almiron's record, because Almiron sold for $27 million, and it's becoming increasingly likely that, at least at this point, Almada will surpass that. And some other pieces on MLS, I think Joe Lowry wrote a piece as well. Asking the same question: is Almada going to be sold for more than $27 million? And at this rate, it looks like it. I mean, knock on wood. Hopefully,
going up.
Yeah, knock on wood. Hopefully, he stays healthy.
Yeah,
and nothing happens. But at the same time, just drink it in, like you were saying, Tyler, Tommy. Just enjoy it. Just Ty, you said it. LA United are appointment viewing again, must-watch viewing, and granted, he won't be playing on Saturday against Columbus because he'll be in Argentina. But at the same time, when he's back and when these other guys are back, this will be appointment viewing. So it's happy to see, just great to see. And not to sound biased, but I think the league is much more fun when Atlanta United are doing well.
I totally agree. Must watch TV right now. So
yeah, 100%. Like it's fun to be able to not cringe when you see like the game starting in half an hour. And I'm sorry, it's felt like that for the past couple years, basically since Joseph's gone down, right? Like it's like, this game's gonna be on. I hope we're at least entertaining, because win or lose, like it's more fun when you win, and it sucks when you lose. But when the games are boring, that's the worst.
Yeah, exactly.
I can handle playing very well and getting a loss. Like that's 100%. But if I'm not entertained for those 90 minutes and not watching a team really give it its all, or just a team that just doesn't look like they've ever played together before, that's when I'm like, I can't watch these. And unfortunately, that's what it's felt like. And for multiple reasons, roster building 1 year, injuries last year, like that's what happens. But so far, I mean, it's looking good, and we still really haven't seen a lot of these guys that are supposed to be maybe starters start. They're still on the bench, and they've just been substitutes. NTN, Abram, did I say it right this time?
Abram, you got it.
Yes.
He's also not playing this week, but I got his name right, so that's the most important thing.
Well, you've brought up Joseph already, so you got to light the candle.
Oh yeah,
bring it on.
I found the lighter. My wife took the lighter the other day, so now I got it. So
nice.
Yeah, Bruno's saying keep sharing his videos so Chelsea will pay 130 million.
130 million.
Yeah, please bring it on. I'm with Bill though. I think it's going to be somewhere between 35 and 40 personally. If he keeps playing the way he is,
I'm down.
Let it happen. All right. I mean, I don't know. Like, have we beat a dead horse with this Portland game? Is there any other thing you guys want to hit on? I mean, it was a good game overall, and I like watching Atlanta go out and try to like just destroy a team and then also throw them in the river. Like, it was so fun to watch them just run riot on somebody. First time in 3 years almost that they've hit 5 goals on somebody. It's just fun to watch.
Yeah, I think July 17th, 2019, against Houston Dynamo. It's the last time they scored 5 goals in the match, which is incredible to think about.
Caleb Wiley, just real quick, just a shout out to Caleb Wiley. And I only bring this up because of Twitter. You know, Atlanta United declined to have him go to the youth team during this break. And a lot of people have been on there saying, you know, Atlanta United, once again, not sending players, you know, to international duty. What's best for Caleb Wiley, and we might have talked about this on the ratings. I can't keep up if we did or not. But I've had this conversation with myself. Like, he's a starter here. He's playing starter minutes, even when NTN is here. The best thing for Caleb Wiley's development is to be playing all these minutes. And that's what he's getting. He's going to be the starter here. And, you know, I don't like these comments that just, especially from the US Twitter fans, like when you're him and he's learning a system and he's obviously doing extremely well, you let the kid play, and that's what's important. And he's improved every single game this season. You know, I know he didn't score 2 goals, but he looked better. I thought he looked better in the Portland game than he did in the Charlotte game. Like, he's making better passes. I feel like his passes are getting better. Some of his crosses, some of his crosses were really bad early in the season. They're getting better. He's becoming an overall almost finished project. And there's more to see, but like, he's doing everything that they're asking of him, if not more. And that's what we want. So it is best, I think, for him to stay here. And that's not just me saying, because I want to see him play for Atlanta United, and we don't really have anybody else to play there at this moment.
Yeah.
But like, I think it's best for him to stay here and continuing growing, and his time will come.
Oh, well, his time's going to come in a couple months in the U20 World Cup. You know he's going. So yeah, first of all, like, your club, especially for what's considered a friendly window, like, you don't need to let him go for this. You need to let him settle in, continue to settle in, grow off of the performance he had in Charlotte, you know, and then he comes in and scores the first goal against Portland. He's on one. So let him continue. That the confidence at 18 years old that he's building from these performances is you're not going to get that in a friendly U20 camp.
Mhm.
Keep him, let him go to the World Cup and have some fun there because he needs to go for that. That's a big experience.
Yeah.
And then get him back and let him keep developing and growing. But yeah, I'm like you. I mean, he could go somewhere right now. He doesn't need to. I think Atlanta needs to keep him as long as they can. But it's fun to watch him blossom how he has. He's taken that next step, and it's fun when you can visually see a player that you know has it in them, and then to watch them actually do it is just really cool to watch. Ariel pointing out something here. Anyone notice how Giakoumakis hyped up the crowd after we thought we got scored on?
Yeah.
That's a key. And also Araujo, he didn't do it then, but Araujo was after two plays that I saw, he was as play was getting ready to restart, he was throwing his hands up, in a kind of getting the crowd into it kind of way. And that's what you want to see, right? Like you want to see your team trying to get the crowd pumped up. Like they need to interact with the crowd. And when they do, when the team does, and then when the fans do, it, especially in the bins, it adds a whole other vibe.
Feed off of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so glad for Wiley. I mean, 18 years old, and Pineda's talked about the little things he does, not just attacking, but in defending. And I think he kind of talked about that on Sunday as well, just how good he is in that. And he's far from the finished product. He's 18 years old. He's still young, but he's definitely getting there. And I think he's a bit ahead of schedule. And some of the comments saying, "Hey, why send him to play the U20s when you can get him for him against a club in a club level or at the club level?" And I 100% agree. I mean, it's good. It'll be good for him to get his legs underneath him with the U20s and get some chemistry. But at the same time, it's much better at the club level to be able to get that chemistry. So he's more than ready to go to U20 World Cup. So again, just great to see. Great to see.
Yeah, I agree.
You mentioned Giakoumakis gets the crowd riled up and ready. I think we have another guy that gets the crowd riled up and ready to go. I'm trying to do these segues as good as I can.
A little bit. I like where you're going.
I was really trying. I was like waiting. I was like, let me say it.
He's just waiting. He's chomping at the bit for this one. All right, cool. So, and there he is.
What's up, everybody?
What's up, man?
How are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Good.
I'm good. I'm looking for a USB from over the weekend that I can't find that has a lot of my music. And
hey, take your time. We're good.
No,
I might have your hoodie and you might have mine. I think
I do. I was like, let me get in character. Atlanta United gear.
So
how's everybody doing?
Good, man. Thanks for coming on.
Absolutely.
No, thank you for having me. Pleasure and an honor.
I guess because we were talking, we were kind of going back and forth in the background a little bit, but so I guess tell everybody how you go by, what you go by, and your name if you want to.
So my name is Eumir.
Okay.
It comes from a Brazilian artist named Eumir Deodato, but everybody calls me EU because that was like really my nickname growing up. The only time I would hear my full name is if I was in trouble.
Yeah, well,
kind of like Latin parents and stuff, but like everybody really calls me EU or EU in Spanish. So yeah, either that works. However you guys want to call me.
Cool.
Works out.
All right. So, look, man, by all means, you find that USB drive. Like you ain't bothering us at all.
It's just I kind of started while I was listening to the show, but I just stopped.
That's
just like took some stuff off that I needed to put back in before I forgot it. Like my Atlanta United badge, I always keep it in my bag.
Yeah.
Because I don't know in which car I'm gonna go or if I'm gonna take the MARTA and then I show up to work and I don't have my badge.
Yeah.
So I always put it in a place that I know it's always gonna be there.
So I saw a video earlier. Is that the studio right there? Because I saw your video that you made.
Yeah, home studio. So that's the background, you guys. That's my kitchen too. The background that that I recorded, but then I go ahead and move that. That has like slides, and I kind of put it there. Those are like some collection of vinyls from my parents to my current stuff, which is mostly Latin. I'm trying to like cool thing I connected. I've had toys, Atlanta United stuff, my books, the suitcase that I usually put away and then just have to put it out. Let's see, some more junk. But yeah, this is where I do a lot of this stuff here.
Very nice.
And then this is like actually my view most of the time.
Sweet.
Yeah, guitars, speakers. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I got you guys
got
on the
behind the
iPad, so
scenes
it kind of worked out. Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
So how did you just talk a little bit about your background? How did you get into DJing and how did you get involved ultimately with Atlanta United?
I've been DJing since 2008. I kind of started in college, doing the homies. We all gather up. We did the school parties, and it wasn't really DJing. I was just creating playlists, and people were like, "Yo, you're kind of like dope at this," and kind of got into it and pursued it. Quit school to pursue really this. Just a very, very short story. There's a podcast that I recently did with some homies, and we really went in depth as far as like a timeline. So I could send you guys the link, and you guys could share it.
Yeah, definitely.
With Atlanta United, I always wanted to DJ for an Atlanta team, and in Puerto Rico, we really are not big into NFL, or at least when I was growing up. Now it is. So to me, it blew my mind how obsessive people were with college football here in the United States, or at least in Georgia. I was like, it's just college. Like, I didn't get it, man. Like, every time I would get tickets for a game, I would make so much money selling them. So it was just awesome. Then the Hawks, I knew the DJ at the Hawks, and then I also knew the DJs at the Falcons. Braves really didn't have a DJ when all this was going on, which was Turner Field. And then my boy Danny M used to do a few other games. So I was like, I'm not going to step on any of the homies' toes, try to take a gig away. But when the team announced, I was like, this is my sport. Yeah, I've been a fan of the sport since like 96, 94, around there. Played FIFA on Super Nintendo, watched numerous World Cups. So, if I felt a connection, not only that, also because of my style of music background, I just knew I was going to be able to connect with the players, fans, and everything, being a very, very diverse crowd. And we announced the team in 15? I want to say
14, 15.
14. Yeah, 14, 15. When was the year that we did the Tabernacle that we introduced Tito in the kit?
I think it was
16?
2016, yeah.
Yeah. So I went to that because I was a founding member. And that's when I was like, no, I need to. Because whoever was DJing and playing the music, I just felt like, no disrespect to them, but there was no connection, really. Like, it just didn't feel like it really was in there. So I started tweeting for a whole year. Like, hey, I want to, almost every day, I want to be your DJ in Spanish, English, Portuguese.
Yeah, man, Ariel.
And I kind of let every friend that I knew that worked in like market agencies or marketing agencies that might know somebody in Atlanta United. I was like, hey, do you know anybody? If you do, let them know that I want to be the DJ. Just interview. They're like, oh man, you'll be perfect for it. The tweeting didn't work. I think they just thought I was like some crazy guy, which honestly I would have. Like, I thought they would have blocked me, like every week, at least 5 tweets went out and retweeted by the whole city. And then literally maybe a month before our first home opener, Kelsey, which used to work at live operations with Falcons and obviously transferred to United. So live operations, so you guys know, are the people that really run the in-game production. So the tunnel, right? The crew that breaks it down.
Yeah.
we have a big team, so shout out to Live Operations. Part of the team handles the away team. Part of our team handles the home game. The home team, like as far as like getting balls for the away teams, water. Somebody's assigned to the refs. So it's a full live team that, I guess, production team. Anyway, she was like the boss at the moment before she moved to LA. And she asked a friend or somebody that worked, is like, hey, do you know a DJ? And that person asked one of my friends. And it's like, bro, I got the perfect dive, blah, blah, blah. So this was February 13th, I remember till this day, 2017.
Yeah.
It was a Saturday. I finished DJing at the club, and my boy goes like, hey, you're going to receive an email from Atlanta United on Monday. I was like, no fucking way. I'm not sure if we could curse on this side.
You're good, man. Right. Yeah. It's okay.
No way. And sorry to the little Atlanta United fans. I'll try to keep this clean. So we were leaving to Cuba that Sunday, and it was like Christmas gift for my wife at the moment, my wife, and Valentine's. So like I kind of made it a whole thing, mini vacation. I had no signal in Cuba, so I wasn't gonna be on my phone, zero work stuff. As soon as they tell me it's like come back. We're like, we land to Fort Lauderdale, and once we get on the plane to Cuba, I kind of break the news to him. I was like, so, like we're already on the plane, like here tomorrow. It's like I gotta kind of check my email just in case this email comes through. She understood, but she was upset at the same time. Sure enough, as soon as we wake up, I'm like every hour check my email. I got the email. I wrote to her. It's like, hey, yes, I would love to talk, do it or talk. And but I'm in Cuba right now. When it's a good, like when I get back, it's like, oh yeah, we could do it Friday. Like we came back on Wednesday or something like that. A $500 roaming bill came later after too as well.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, but it was straight. It was worth it. So they, I got the gig, but then right like a week before the first match, the home opener, they tell me, hey, so America's Families Insurance, which is our sponsor, hired directly another DJ, and it was Outcast. I cannot think his name. Like if we were having this conversation, I'll drop his name immediately, but right now it always happens. And he's done stuff with the Falcons, so there was like that, it was okay, he's done stuff with it, but he did what he knows how to do, which was probably play a lot of hip hop, and it didn't really mesh with what was going on. And even during the game, I was enjoying the game, but I was listening. I was like, okay, let me learn. So when it's my turn, I could, there was no like sort of like international, not even Latin, like just like nothing, not even Despacito, like which was one of the biggest records at the moment, like, and I just felt like, okay, there's a disconnect. Mind you, Jamil Assad, yeah,
I found it.
A little surprised when you told me pulled it up.
But see, that was March 6th, and so I already maybe had the conversation, and I still kept tweeting. But you could go as back and further back. But yeah, there's a lot of those.
Yeah. If you're listening to the podcast, that was just a tweet where he's tweeting.
It was from 2017. Damn, that's some good searching engine. I don't think I'll be able to.
All Tommy.
Yeah.
Tommy got that Twitter flu over here.
So nothing. I sent them an email and kind of was like, hey, I'm not sure if I'm overstepping, but I just feel like, this was missing. And they're like, oh no, not at all. Like the more input we get, because a lot of the people that first worked the first, second, third game really came from the Falcons. So they have a different background and culture as far as like the in-game experience. Until we started hiring people that came from DC United, and then we started getting like our own kind of like team for Atlanta United, you could say. Anyways, long story short, second home game came in, I did my thing, and ever since I've been the DJ. Where then
So-
over the years, it's just been like, you're the DJ. That was it. They would like even ask me like, hey, can you DJ this match? I was like, hey, don't worry, I could DJ the whole season. I have it in the calendar already. You don't have to ask me.
Yeah. Go ahead and slot me in now.
Yeah. And then you know, what, 7 seasons still doing it, and I got more responsibilities as the seasons go as well. Just I guess showing what I could really do, not just like, you know, play the music, my knowledge into like production, even marketing stuff, and the relationships that I built with the players over the years as well, right?
Yeah, that's we want to talk about all that. That's all.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I mean, you're reading my mind. It's like didn't send you these questions beforehand, but this is all perfect.
No, so the, you know, and 2000, this is like the biggest, like the most I've had, where every match game, there's a home game. We have a Zoom meeting like with the production team as far as like music and stuff that I already knew, but seeing like being more involved, I'm even learning little things and stuff like that, and just giving my input and being heard a little bit more. It's awesome too, right? Because before I would just channel it to other people and other people would suggest it, but it's just been the dream job, honestly, best gig. And I've traveled the world DJing, blessed to say that, but it's just so awesome, man. Like, it's just the response, and you know, I'm the DJ for a MLS champion team, right? Like, it's just not a lot of people get to say that.
And it's the perfect crowd too, right? Like there's nothing
Best
like
fans.
nothing like it, man. It's awesome.
No, that's why I tell people I DJ for the best fans in the world.
Yeah.
What is it like? And they're like, I just DJ for the best fans in the world.
Yeah.
And they're like, would you ever? It's like, I was like, man, if I ever quit DJing nightclubs, I still would do Atlanta United.
Yeah.
Until I get to retire a jersey or something. Something like that. Well, yeah, I kind of went a lot, so you guys keep asking.
No, man, that's actually a really cool story. I had no idea.
Yeah.
So, like, for all the kids out there listening, don't give up. You'll get your dreams up.
Yeah. Like if you want something and it's for you, it'll come through. If it's not for you, like something else will come. I always said that things in life happen for a reason. It might not happen when you want it, and if it didn't, it's because it wasn't your moment, right? Like you may not have been ready. So it even comes down to like there's a DJ competition called Rebel 3 Style. It used to be a big DJ competition across the world, and I did it in 2011, and I thought I should have won it, but I didn't. And I won it. I went back in 2013 and I won it, but I understood that in 2011, I wasn't mature enough to understand the responsibility or like to keep kind of like going with it. So I was like, once I won it, I was like, okay, I understand now what it means to like why I won it and all that.
Yeah.
So it's
very,
like you said, don't give up.
yeah. I mean, that is a really cool story. Again, I had no idea. I don't know how many people knew that, but that's hilarious about the tweets though.
Every year. Like for a whole year, literally. Sometimes I would just wake up. Oh shit, I forgot to like tweet. Just go back to sleep.
So,
but it didn't work though. That wasn't really the reason why I got hired.
Hey, but you was in somebody's ear though, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So you talking about kind of how over the years you've kind of gotten more responsibility and everything. It seemed to. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seemed to kind of culminate a lot with that laser show that they did at AmFam Cup. So how much did you have a hand in all that and that whole production?
So the laser show, all the music production was mine. Like I did it. Not a lot of original tracks, but like all the mashups, like there was the Zombie Nation trap remix, but it had hooks from Atlanta anthem songs.
Yeah.
I spent, I want to say a good week working on that, like pretty much almost like 5 hours, 6 hours a day.
Yeah.
So how it happened is like, hey, we're doing this laser show for AmFam Cup. Do you think you could? Like I always kind of like, hey, I could do this, and they kind of like were like, well, do you think you could do it? I was like, yeah, let's. I got the call on Wednesday or Thursday. I want to say maybe January, like even before Block Party or anything like that. So, or kit launch, obviously. I think we had like 3 weeks to get everything done, or a month to get everything done. So kit launch was like, I think the 15th, if I'm not mistaken, or Wednesday 15th, around there.
That sounds right. That
I
sounds
could
right.
pull a calendar
15th.
if we really want to get to the date. But it was a whole, yeah, I'm gonna pull the calendar just in case I get facts checked real quick.
Look, I don't think anybody's
No,
gonna be fact checking
no,
you on
no.
the show, but
No. So it was the 15th, so literally a month. So a Thursday they called me, and we hang up. So I make the notes of what they want, and I was just like, I was like, okay, cool. Kind of finished the call, and I started working on it. And the first night, I sent them a rough draft. I was like, hey, what do you think of this? And they were like, holy shit. Like, this is amazing. And then they started, like, mind you, there was like probably like 8 different people that needed to approve it, like, or give their input. And I would just get small feedback. And then also waiting on goal calls. Like, I'm not sure if you guys heard our first goal, which was the Jamil Assad goal, and then like when we won the championship. So waiting on those things.
Good touch.
Yeah. I heard it once it was completely mixed and mastered and done and resent to me. I got chills. Like I got it sent like at 3 a.m. I was sleeping in the nightclub, and I lived like 15 minutes away from where I was working. I heard that thing like 3-4 times, just like. And I got chills when I heard it, and I could just visualize it. Yeah. So I sent the first draft, and then I went to the stadium to put some final touches and also give my input on certain tracks. And they're like, okay, yeah, that works. And then I was also part of the creative of the visual part, like the part that Archie goes, DJ EU, are we ready? Atlanta, are we ready? Like I wanted to tribute him, so I was like, hey, let's get like a mouth with a grill into like the whole. But a lot of the first initial call, like from the upper management, they already kind of had an idea what they wanted. It was just me of like putting this vision that they had together and just kind of like, and our creatives did a lot of the artwork. So it was a good process, and then they hired a company to do all the laser programming and stuff. So that was like the first project of this year, you could say so.
So more to come, maybe.
Hopefully, yeah. So right now, like my big focus is really playing for the players and getting them hyped to the point that I was like, okay, guys, like, what are the new songs? And like anything. And soccer is very superstitious. Like, we don't want like keep the same songs. It's working. We're winning. Let's not change anything. Yeah. I was like, all right. I'm gonna change a few things, but you guys are not gonna notice. But it's just one of those things. But right now, that's the only focus. Obviously, at Block Party, I helped book the DJs that played alongside me. Like every year, I try to invite DJs from Atlanta, obviously, that I know they're killing it, that are dope, that are fans as well, not just like, oh yeah, I want to play for Atlanta. Like, right. I want to play the Block Party because it's cool. No, they're fans of the team. They follow the team, and also not try to repeat it. Like, give an opportunity every year to like New Year. So this year, I kind of suggested some DJs with our marketing department. Shout out to Sydney, and she approved the ones that I really suggested. Even the performing act, Roscoe Dash, which I thought was kind of fire. Obviously, everything really Atlanta. Over the last 2 years ago, they allowed me to select the Golden Spike Hitter for Hispanic Heritage Month, which was Jetty D, a Venezuelan artist.
Yeah.
Grammy-nominated artist. So every year I try to help with that. It's just a matter of getting artists locked in. So kind of like help a little bit with marketing and obviously the music side. But as you guys can see, this year is the first year that I'm inside the stadium permanently.
Mm-hmm.
we call it the ball. And I'm actually DJing every match, where previous years it was like one game here, one game there, a few games here, a few games there. And it was also about just locking in sponsors to be able to pay for my DJ setup, like the rig, the A. And obviously last year we pushed it, we were able to get enough content to sell it, and it worked out. I think it's awesome. It's working out.
That booth is pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's
that's pretty
awesome.
awesome.
You know, it's funny, like this year I'm up there, right? But because I'm doing so much, I don't get to see the games as much as I used to.
Yeah.
Before, I was in the little corner where the players will warm up. Like I would do front porch, players welcome. I would greet actually the supporter march, and then that was done. And then shout out to DJ Q Storm, which was the in-house DJ up top in the booth that nobody sees. Shout out to DJ Mike Keefe, which is our DJ, in-house DJ so when I'm not DJing, he's the one playing the music.
Okay.
So before I would just like, you know, hey, the players want these songs, these are the songs. And I would like prep a lot of the work and just hand it over, where this time I'm prepping it, but I'm actually doing it live a lot more, all the matches. So I'm still doing front porch, which is one of my favorite parts. I have this tradition that I have different handshakes now with each player, which is for good luck. Like Andrew and I, like Gutman, the first match that he scored, we did a pound. And then the next game he tried it out. I was like, no, let's keep the pound going. And that's just the thing. We don't say hi no other way except the pound.
That's right.
Like certain handshakes. And then the kids that really show up for that, like it's, man, once you see one of the players stop and just acknowledge them, or even not even sign, just acknowledge them, give them a high five, like their face lights up, and it's awesome.
That's awesome. It's a fun fact. Gutman, it's funny you brought up Gutman because he was on the show too a month and a half ago. Yeah. So,
yeah, right before the season started, right during preseason.
Yeah, it's when they were in Mexico.
Yeah, I saw that. Didn't catch it. I gotta watch the replay. He's the homie, man. He's such a good guy. Man, so little did I know, like we had signed him and then we loaned him, I think is what happened.
Up the Red Bulls, yeah.
And I was like, why did we do that? Like, oh my God. Like last year to me, he made a lot of a difference. Him and Lennon. Yeah. And then once Purata kind of like got into like the chemistry with the team, it was good to see that. Like there's certain players that you were like, oh man, I'm so happy and appreciate it.
Yeah.
Stuff. Seems like there's a lot more personalities around this year.
So obviously I have a relationship with them, and I have a relationship with all their players, but the chemistry that I feel amongst all of them and talking and being around them, it gives you 2018 vibes again. And I feel it. And it's not like, not saying that we're not going to win the MLS Cup, but we are. But it's just that energy, like that energy amongst all of them is just amazing. They're happy. They're just happy, man. Like, and I love it. I love it.
And it's funny you bring that up because that's something that we've talked about on here. Like, I go down in the locker room. Me and Sydney usually go down in the locker room after the fact, and we're, of course, it's like interviews. It's from a journalistic standpoint.
Yeah.
But I'm also of the mindset that like, not everything has to be, Walter Cronkite news from like the 70s where you like make it fun, make it enjoyable.
Yeah.
And
personable.
Yeah.
Personable.
And the personalities you're seeing down there, Derek Etienne, hilarious. Andrew Gutman, just super cool. Purata, he came at the training ground. He did his interview in English, which I thought was awesome. But everybody, Araujo's, that dude's always laughing, joking around about something.
Yeah.
And so the vibe just seems so different. Like they
seem
happy.
Araujo to me is like the most serious ones right now. Like just like he has this like, I think it's something, he has a chip in his shoulder that he wants to like. It's just his focus and his mentality. Like I want to destroy everything. And but yeah, man, the energy between the boys is amazing, and I love it, and I want to keep it. I wanted them to keep going because no matter what, if they're having fun, right? that's really what their end goal was, to become professional soccer players, get paid to do what you love. Like, and like you said, Etienne tweeted like, hey, I need a barber. And I was like, hey, like, hit up Christian Bite, which cuts my hair and every other player's barber. And he ended up going, right? But I didn't know about it until like I went and got a haircut. And, oh yeah, he came. And I saw him. I was like, yo, that, like, the first time we met, I was like, that's a fresh fade. I think you owe me a cut because of the recommendation. He started laughing. Like, that was our first interaction.
Yeah.
And it's funny, every time we sign a new player, right? I obviously, like, I want everybody to know that I'm a United fan first, and then I'm the DJ for the team. Like, I bought season tickets before I got the gig. Like, I'm a fan. Like, when we have influencers or artists that like, we give them jerseys as a gift, they're like, what number should we put on? It's like 17, because that's the fans number. That's the number. There's a history. Like, when I give them the jersey, they're going to look at the 17 and I'm going to explain it to them. And when I explain it to them, they're going to feel they're part of the history of the team. So I'm not just like, oh yeah, here you go, man. Yeah, I'm DJ EU, the cool. No, like, it's like, here's the history behind all of this, right?
Yeah.
That's why, like, I even wear a 17 because I'm part of you guys, not just the DJ. So with the players, I hit them following. I don't even write, and they follow me back, right, immediately, because they either find out by somebody in the organization, and I just like, hey man, I'm the team DJ. I was like, send me your tracks whenever you get a chance. It's like, I'll keep them in rotation for your warm. It's like, oh man, I heard so much about you. You're like the man, like blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm just kidding. I'm the DJ. Just play your songs. Just win or something. Play well.
Please just win.
Yeah. So it's really dope, man. But the energy, like, it's just, and I'll say it, like, Joseph to me was my brother, and he still is. Like, we talk almost every week, and I was like, every fan was hurt though, like, that he left. Some were happy, some weren't. I just thought he was part of, like, the legacy of the team, right? Yeah, there you go. I was sad, but then I read Felipe's interview, how the coach wanted him that bad, right? And then I read another interview about him being happy there, and then I spoke to him. I asked him everything. He's like, yeah, I'm really happy. And that's when I was able to get over that. Like, it felt like I was an ex-girlfriend that couldn't get over that he broke up with me, kind of thing. Yeah. But the fact that he was happy where he was, I was happy for him. But then when I saw the team was happy, and unfortunately, we move on and everything. Yeah. It's like, I'm happy for our team as well, right? Like, it's just a whole little happy bubble. So it took me a minute, but like, seeing them that happy, I just understood maybe that there wasn't a chemistry, just because maybe 1, 2, or whatever players, just there was something off. And I till this day, I couldn't know. I don't know. Sometimes, like, the boys tell me too much, and I prefer they didn't. I just, but I'm a friend. I'm just there to listen to them. And I just, like, Joseph sometimes, like, hey, just call and talk to somebody and fix this. Like, but everybody has their own personality, right?
Well, it's kind of goes back to what you were talking about before, because, Lord knows we've talked about Joseph. Everybody's talked about Joseph. Yeah. That's just part of it, right? I mean, the dude's an Atlanta United legend. It's not going to change. No. But sometimes things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
And that time was over at Atlanta right now. So I think everybody misses Joseph for sure. That's part of it. That's also the sport of soccer. You can't keep keep folks around forever, unfortunately.
Bro, end of season, like, once the season ends, is this one of the saddest 2 months that happens, because you become so close with these guys. Next thing you know, MLS Super Draft what is it? The draft that a new team, what is it?
Expansion draft.
The expansion draft. Yep.
And then, like, damn, like, your friend that became almost family, like, kind of like it's far away. You still keep that friendship, but you didn't want that, right?
Right.
Like
It's like
to
being in
this
high school
day,
and
I'm
moving away.
like this till this day. I'm good friends with Jamil Assad.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, he was like the first player that I interacted the first season with, like via social medias, and he's the one that introduced me to the rest of the team.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
so till this day, I still talk to Miguel.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, I have an invitation to go and watch him play in Newcastle. Like,
Oh man.
Nice.
yeah,
You can see.
I think
You can see Darren
got-
as well.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, I'm getting like, if Miguel doesn't give me good tickets, I'm hitting up Darren. I'm like, yo, it's like your karaoke DJ's here. What's up?
Right.
Like, can I sit in your suite, the presidential suite?
Yeah.
But yeah, Leandro, Barco, I don't talk much, but I still stay in touch. Greg, when he just got moved back to Atlanta, like we'll have lunch every other month. Like I'm telling you, like these guys have become really good friends. Nagby, whenever I see something about his kids, like I just interact, and it's just you become. They don't like. I just don't show them. It's like, oh, there's an interest or anything. Like, no, I'm your DJ. Like, I'm here for you. I want the same, and there's, I guess, a respect.
Yeah.
Towards
Yeah, because
it.
they, like you were talking about the superstitions and all, but they take that music seriously. Soccer teams in general, especially heavily Hispanic soccer teams, take that kind of stuff seriously. And after a win, man, they are blasting that music down there in that locker room, and it's just a vibe. It's cool that they've got the connection with you.
I forgot who they told me that's in charge of the playlist in the locker room.
I know last year I think it was Alan Franco. I think
it was Alan Franco, and then this year I forgot. They told me who it was, and I was like, okay, send me the Spotify play, because it's like everybody puts in an input.
Okay,
right. Yeah. So it's what they really want to hear, but it's mostly Latin driven for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like Miles Robinson loves reggaeton. Like so let me put it like,
go Miles.
As much as he loves little like Future, Little Baby, he loves Bad Bunny and all of that. So it's pretty cool to see.
So speaking of Bad Bunny, I'm trying to go because we've had a lot of comments over here, but Ariel had a question. Are there any certain restrictions on what you can play at the stadium? Because every time you play Bad Bunny, you get the place rocking. So
there is, like, it's a family environment. So there is songs, like, even if it's clean, the references are dirty.
Yeah.
So with Bad Bunny, right? And in Bad Bunny in general, like the song could say clean, but there's certain words in Puerto Rican slang that are bad for us. Mm-hmm. But then they're not for the Mexican culture, but they're still bad for the Colombian culture. So if I don't play a particular song, it's just because I haven't had time to like edit it completely, make it squeaky clean, like what I call it squeaky clean, where I actually make it like Atlanta United friendly. But there was a song that I remember I almost played and I edited it, and all you hear the whole song was like every 5 seconds, like I used a reverse effect.
Yeah.
And I was like, so 3/4 of the song is gone. So that's really only restrictions. And then luckily, fans get to do the surveys, and certain fans are very specific on what they want. And there's, we look at demographic charts of like the age but that really applies more for me on halftime versus player warm-ups, because I'm really like that's why on that Facebook group I kind of went in and explained, because I feel like a few of the fans were attacking what I did without really knowing exactly all of what I did, and I didn't want them to end up hating me. I wanted them to enjoy what I do, you know, especially that I've been like working hard 7 seasons to get to where I'm at the moment, right? Inside the stadium,
definitely
jamming out with you guys. So as long as I do player warm-ups, and if I'm still DJing while player warm-ups are ending and we're not really focusing on the players, and we start focusing, like I have an earpiece that I'm getting talked on like directions. So like a lot of the fans are coming in, like they're like EU, EU. And I'm like, you're talking to me, but I'm not hearing anything you're saying because I have my DJ headphones. I have an in-ear piece that I'm hearing certain things. There's things that I do hear. So I apologize to the fans. I know I just acknowledge you and wave you. And if you said something, I'm really sorry that I didn't hear it. So I'll get a cue like, okay, we're done really with player warm-ups. Start playing music for kids or for the fans. So you'll start seeing that the Halo board, the images will start focusing on the fans. And then I transition my music to more, see if we could get the fans to interact kind of thing. Yeah. There's a lot like
science behind it.
Like football, Atlanta, like soccer, Atlanta United is super easy compared to a Hawks or even a Falcons game. Like I see the script of my fellow coworkers. I was like, whoo, man. I was like, you gotta be on point. Like you're not like where me, I'm more DJing, like really doing what I do in all of the environments. And it's really getting the crowd and the fans hyped, right? But as far as like restrictions, no, like a lot of like most of the requests from the players it's not your typical top 40. It's very international music, right?
Yeah.
Like Cedric's song is Free From Desire. Like that's his jam, right?
Who is that?
Like,
Which one is that?
Cedric.
Is it Cedric?
Huh?
Which player?
Cedric.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
How do you guys say it?
Sadich.
No, Cedric. Yeah.
It's the D
I almost
and the J
wanted
are
to.
out of,
I almost
they're out
wanted
of
to say
order.
it in Spanish, Cedric.
Yeah, well,
Right.
that's what a lot of us have said multiple times. So yeah. Tommy.
So his song is Free From Desire. Let me see what else. Something like that I could probably. Sorry, I'm like opening my.
Are you good?
So I could share this with you guys.
Were you the one that was putting, or was it the players when they were doing the road games last year? They would put together a playlist. They would post it on Spotify.
So I did one for them because they couldn't get the players to do it on time, and then the players actually started doing it with me with social media.
Okay.
Team, and it's still because I was like, great, now I could pull from this, and that's what I've been doing. Like, for example, Araujo has a Brazilian song called Sona de Perigo, and it's almost like a Brazilian bachata, which I've never heard. Ozzy got once I Know You Want Me by Pitbull. Etienne wants Young Thug Ski, which is like a little dance. Juan Purata wanted Air Force One. Kind of like went with
awesome.
Yeah, so
hilarious.
Like, Chol wants Sky Full of Stars by Coldplay. So you have an idea of like the difference of like songs that are hyping these guys up. Like it's a whole spectrum, and I love it because I was like, that's how I DJ normally. Like I play everything, so it challenges me because also I'm like, okay, I played this Freed From Desire remix. Let me look for a new one to see if he like recognizes it and stuff. And then last game we were kind of almost celebrating St. Patrick's, so I drop kicks Murphy. So
yeah,
just I don't have restrictions, but just kind of keep it family friendly. It's really I guess a quick answer
with Air Force One. That's hilarious.
That's amazing, right?
That's awesome.
Yeah. The fact that he kind of kept on with what we kind of baptized him with. Yeah,
that's right.
I like his personality though. He's a cool guy. Just in the little bit that I've interacted with him.
I think everybody and every Atlanta United fangirl loves him too.
My wife does. She's seen pictures with him without a shirt on, so she's all about him.
I took a picture of him without a shirt and put my face. I was like, "Here you go. Here's your Wano." And she's like, "You ruined it for me." I was like, "Wait, what?" It was like, "It's the same."
That's what I'm doing for Mother's Day. Good idea there.
Yeah. Bring out like a picture, put your face in it. I think every Atlanta United husband should do that.
All right, so now you
challenge
guys can come
accepted.
to this show and get gift ideas for Mother's Day. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day next year.
Yeah. But yeah, man. So yes and no, just keep it family friendly because we do have kids in there, right? We not only have teenagers, we have like young kids that
My 5-month-old at the time baby girl was there at the opening day match. Not that she's gonna
That's
hear it and
amazing.
be like, what is that? But
yeah,
you got kids all ages, man, and it's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So
Any
go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was like, any other questions from the fans that I need to?
Yeah, I mean,
Or
we got a
you guys-
handful.
Yeah.
Really? I didn't think they
Yeah.
will write that many.
No,
Yeah.
man, look, you are
You're a popular guy.
yeah, you're a very popular guy. While I tell you while I'm pulling a couple up, quick, just off the top of your head, and it might be pretty obvious, but what was your favorite Atlanta United moment?
You would think is MLS Cup because obviously that's like amazing, but MLS Cup I really didn't appreciate everything because there was so much going on and I was doing that I really didn't enjoy it until like we did the parade on Monday, right?
Yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah.
And Tuesday is when I was like I was able to like enjoy it. But man, like there's so many, but like my favorite moment was like when I randomly got called to do the Golden Spike.
Yeah.
And that was like Hispanic Heritage. I didn't understand why I was getting asked for. I was like, oh no, yeah, you're part of the team. You're part of the family. And I didn't understand it. And I just did it. And like the response that you guys, the fans were like, who is this guy? And like you guys were welcoming. And also that match. To me, that match that we played against Club America, because to me it was the first, get me if I'm wrong, big international team that we played. That it wasn't like a little team; it was a monster team. You're talking about Club America, right?
Yep. Almost half the stadium was Club America fans.
Yeah, and it's like, and it was a heck of a game. Like, it was an amazing, beautiful game. We fought it. We played it. That goal by Lorenowitz.
Dude, that was a thunder strike. I was just about to bring that up, man.
Yeah, so like it was to me like obviously MLS Cup, but to me like we just proved that we just had won the cup, right? That was 2019, correct? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The game you're talking about, that was 2019.
Obviously, we didn't have Tata. Miguel wasn't with us. Right, Miguel had got left already.
He had dipped out right after the beginning of that year before the season started. Yeah, he was gone.
Yeah. We just proved that we just didn't win MLS Cup because we beat only MLS teams. Like we were high quality team, and I just thought it was amazing. Yeah, because it wasn't like Club America brought second team. No, like. Yep. Everybody that needed to play on that game. To me, that was like one of my favorite moments. Then obviously all of 2018, like there's too many, like even first goal at Bobby Dodd. Like I was right there sitting in that corner where Jamil came in, and it was just like when I saw it, I was like, this is the beginning of what. Probably I've been waiting my whole life since I moved to Atlanta, Georgia in 2002, like to love a team this much, right? Just honestly, as a fan, all of that. And then like each season it has its own, and then Joseph's, like I was there with him on the MVP celebrations and all of that. Yeah. But also like Joseph's last goal with a team. Like to me, that was just like, you know how long he's been trying that bicycle kick for? How many seasons?
I know, man. And he finally nailed it.
No, and it wasn't like, so I was looking at somebody tried to like, oh well, Cristiano Ronaldo could do that with eyes closed. And I put both bicycle kicks, like Joseph was a rocket, like into the goal. Like it wasn't a lob. It was like to me, that was his goodbye. Like, oh, just I enjoy every moment, man. Like even that golazo from Thiago, like it was like almost like him spending a whole month with Messi. He just just stared at him. And I was like, oh, okay, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
And just
Got some
kind
of
of
that
like
magic.
brought this energy to our first match against Orlando and Tito scoring that banger.
Mm-hmm.
Like we just have so many, but the Club America, that cup, like that match to me was because I hit the golden spike and it was surreal. I didn't understand it, and then how the match ended and how beautiful it was, and we won. It was just like a perfect day. It was dope.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good shout. I like it. That was a fun match.
Any Greek music coming soon? So
Bruno asking in the chat.
So I got some requests from our boy. But he actually just gave me more house music. So if you guys have anything that I could listen to, just send me a tweet and I'll check it out and I'll see how I can work it out.
Okay. So Giacomakis, he's the house guy.
Yeah. So he remember that first interview that he said that like if the D is not rocking, he'll put his own headphones. Still haven't seen him put his own headphones. So I think I'm doing a good job. Or the staff is not letting him, so I appreciate the staff not letting him put headphones. But yeah, he said house music, so that was that's why I played kind of like a few house records and stuff like that for him.
Noticed it. I've heard a couple of the bands, and I like it.
So imagine, like I got 11 guys that I have to like please in a 35-minute span.
Yeah.
And including the fans. So it's challenging, right? But
yeah,
I could do it. But yeah, like if you guys have any songs that I should be listening to or you could suggest, definitely. I would love to. And let's say he wasn't Greek and you guys still wanted to hear it, I still try to work it in, right? Like don't think because we finally have a Greek player, that's why I should play it. No, like I want to actually cater to all of the cultures that we have inside of the stadium. The other day, a fan wrote like, hey, I know we got like the Latinos and stuff, but what about the soca for the Jamaicans? And I was like, that's when I play Follow the Leader.
Yeah.
And stuff like, so the more you guys feed me, the more I'm able to like, play the spectrum, not just only for the players, but for the fans. And sometimes the players are fans of whatever music you guys request. They're just doesn't come up in the moment, right? So yeah, just don't bombard me like 100 requests on match day. Just like throughout the week, I'll work it, and I make I'll save a tweet, like I'll bookmark it so I could go back to it later and stuff if I'm on the road or something.
That's good to know.
Yeah,
good stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So look, man, I don't want to keep you. I want to respect your time, man. We appreciate you coming on.
No, you're good, man. I honestly cleared the night for you guys, and I love talking. So if you guys want to keep going, I can
answer more
questions.
Like I said, you're a popular dude. So,
I actually I'm getting on Spotify playlists because there's a fan that he is a coach. And he's been tweeting at me. I forget his username, but it's coming. Just haven't had a chance to really work on it. And every time I try to record one of the mixes from like me doing it live at the stadium so I could share it later, I completely forgot to hit save. So like I close my computer and I lose the file. So it's just, again, there's a lot of moving pieces, but I could start kind of like I have an idea of like maybe each match day kind of upload or put up like what I played for the players or the songs that I played.
That would be pretty sweet.
But then a lot of it will be repeated, right? And there's certain remixes that are not on Spotify. So like, for example, like you'll hear a Pepas at the stadium, but I have like 10 different remixes that I play. So it's just like, it's a matter of like, do you really want to hear Pepas or have Pepas? I'll probably try to add like just the new songs that I kind of did because I could do it two ways. I could just kind of create a general Spotify playlist, or I could create it per match, right? Like,
Yeah.
against Toronto, I play this. Like against Toronto, I didn't play no Drake.
Yeah.
At all.
Ah,
You guys didn't notice that, right?
I didn't
That
know.
is I like the touch though. That's perfect.
Against
Yeah.
New York, when we play New York, which we play next week, there's no New
yeah.
York rappers.
There you
Good.
go.
There's no Biggie.
I like it.
There's no.
It's like a long list, though, isn't it?
Yeah, New York. I might need to. I might ran out of music though.
Yeah.
Just go back to like
Um,
the 05, 04 Atlanta era. Just get
Oh
all
yeah, that's cool. We
Yeah.
just go crunk all the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I try to. It's a joke, but also like intentionally, like, oh, we're not. Welcome to Atlanta. There's no
I
Drake
like
right
it,
now.
man. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
I think if you put anything out on Spotify as a playlist,
Yeah.
that would probably get eaten up by the fans. I really think
Yeah,
so.
I'll
That would
try
be
to do
awesome.
that. I honestly remember it's like this is our third home game, and there's so much new stuff. And then honestly, I've been on the road. So like on Saturday, I literally the night before I played in Auburn, Alabama, woke up, drove to Atlanta to spend 2 hours with my fam real quick, be at the stadium at 3, and I didn't get home till 4 o'clock in the morning to then go be at the Atlanta Motor Speedway at 8 in the morning or 9 in the morning for NASCAR. So it's like,
You
I
down in my neck of
promise-
the woods with that one, man. That's down
Yeah.
close to where I live at.
yeah, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So I will try my best as much as I can. To be honest, like give you guys as much content as I can, but it's hard, honestly.
Hey,
Sometimes
man, I
like
get it.
that extra hour, I just want to sleep.
I totally get that.
But yeah. Anything?
right.
Any other question from any other
Well, let me
fans?
see. Making sure look, there's tons of them, but I mean, we got, unfortunately, we got time limits.
Yeah.
I will say this. We got somebody asking about let me go find it, about an Animaniacs remix because we call Yakimakis Yako or Yako from Animaniacs.
From the Animaniacs.
Um,
I thought I saw somebody did something about Animaniacs. I'll find it if I do.
so we got a guy that listens to the show that does pancake art. And
okay. Oh, I saw it.
and did like a Yako from Animaniacs pancake art, and it was freaking amazing.
I could barely do a regular circular pancake
Dude,
without
for real.
burning it or boiling it.
You dump it out, and it ends up burning, and I can't even flip it.
Yeah,
this
so
guy's over here making like 3D art with it.
that's very talented. Shout out to him.
So I've got a quick idea. It ain't a request. If you can make something out of it, by all means. But all right, so Yakimakis over in the Premiership in Scotland, they started doing a chant for him based off the 99 Red Balloons song.
Okay.
Or 99 Luftballons. It's a different language. If you can
I'm
work
making a note
that
out of
in
it right now.
somehow, just to try to get the fans involved with it, that would be sweet. I'll send you the video later of them chanting it to that song because it's pretty cool.
So is it Nina the artist?
Yeah.
From 1984, the song?
Yeah, that's it.
Maybe is it on YouTube as well?
Yeah, I think it's
so.
I'm on you. Oh, so let me see.
Yeah, because they took the tune to the song and made Yakimakis like a chant for Yakimakis, and he took to it and actually did an interview and was like, "Yeah, I like that. That's cool. Keep going." So,
all right, I got it.
Maybe
sweet.
It's done.
Maybe
sweet.
It's done.
That's awesome.
Well, we could I could implement it into a mix, or I could once he wins man of the match or something. But I think the more fans there is, we'll get to it. But yeah, I got it. Challenge accepted, man.
Sweet, man.
Challenge accepted. That's easy. It's very easy.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it. Know that when I hear that song in the bins, I'm gonna be like, appreciate it.
I'll point to the supporter section and be like, it goes to you.
All right.
But yeah, man, if fans enter any requests or or any like anything, just throw it at me, and I'm game for the challenge.
You're pretty easy guy to find. I mean, DJ EU on Twitter, Instagram,
Yeah,
some of your Facebook,
yeah.
all
Just
that.
search
So,
it and it'll come up. Yeah.
yeah. So you got
Um,
Edgar's in the chat says been following you since 09. So
yeah, that is very
you're
true.
not know
That's
there.
the man. He used to do flyers with my name on them back in the day.
Really?
That's awesome.
Yeah. Edgar
That's
Edgar
nice.
is good people, man. I've
Nice.
seen he didn't grow much. He kind of stayed the same height, but I see him grow. No, man, thank you. Such an honor to be here, man. The fact that you guys had Andrew here and now me, it really means a lot.
Hey man, you're welcome anytime. First of all, that
Yeah.
invite is open for whenever you want to come back. I'll let you know. Now.
You guys let me know. We could talk some other stuff. I don't know. Or anytime you guys need an extra guest, let me know.
Hey man, I'll tell you what. Actually, this is a perfect time to throw this out there because we're setting up a Patreon. So for those that are listening, maybe in one of these Patreon episodes, maybe we can get you back on. That's going to be for the Patreon members, and we can kind of chop it up a little bit.
Yeah,
go into some more stuff.
Let me know.
So.
Let me know. But nah, thank you for having me. Big shout out to the best fans in the MLS. Like I always say it, 17s. Thank you so much.
Cool.
And,
appreciate it.
Get this W this weekend.
That's right.
That's right.
Go there and take it away from Columbus.
Yeah, they should be. It should be a good game. But even though we're missing a few of our boys, but
exactly,
it's okay.
Yeah, they come out and do something with this one, and a lot of people are going to be looking back at Atlanta thinking, all right, well,
yeah,
they're back.
Yeah, we back though.
Yeah, we back. You heard it from DJU. Now everybody has been asking, are we back? You said it. It's true.
The man has spoken.
I
can't argue it no more.
And it's not because of our record or anything. It's just honestly the spirit between the boys. Once you have that, it's like you can't break that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Preach it.
You can't break that.
Preaching.
It's all about
good stuff.
All right, guys.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry that
you
took
appreciate it, man. Thank you.
45 minutes or an hour.
Dude, not at all, man.
That was fun.
That was awesome. Thank you so much.
You guys have a good one.
See you, man.
See ya.
Later.
Thanks.
So
great interview.
Yeah, man, just a good time. Like that's. I mean, we knew that was going to be awesome. Like, but it's really cool to be able to listen to the relationships with players, the stories behind, how he kind of got started. I don't know, man, where else are you going to get that at? That's just really cool. Really, really cool. So super excited I've had him on.
We'll obviously have the live stream on YouTube, but we're going to cut out, like we do every week, the interview with DJ U and put that on YouTube by itself. So if you guys want to look at it again, definitely you'll have that option. Sorry, Tommy.
I'm so old. Everybody kept naming songs, and I'm like, I don't know this song. I don't know this song. We play some Blink 182. Like that's, I didn't know. I knew like
I'm
one
sure
song.
He would do
it, right?
That's the thing about DJ EU, and I'll say this. And I wish I could have told him, live, but like, I appreciate that exact thing that he was talking about. He plays stuff and represents everybody. And Atlanta is such a diverse city. Mm-hmm. To hear the music that you hear in the bins and to hear the different varieties and the different cultures represented, that's part of what makes this team, right? Like that's what's so exciting about it. So, I think they've got the perfect guy. They've got the perfect guy doing the job, and I hope he's able to stay on doing it for a very, very long time. So that was awesome.
Absolutely,
for sure.
Absolutely.
We still got a game to talk about.
I know. Do we want to touch on the game first, or do we want to touch on Patreon? You mentioned Patreon during.
Let's do the Patreon real quick. Let's do the Patreon real quick. You want to? I guess because you got it pulled up. I think, Sydney, you want to walk them through what we've got now?
Yeah. So we actually talked about it before the show, but yeah, patreon.com/scarves and spikes. And I'll put the link in the chat right now so you guys can take advantage of the opportunities that are available up there. But I'll kind of share on the screen if you're watching on the stream. If you're listening to the podcast, again, just go to patreon.com/scarfs and spikes. And I'm stalling because I'm trying to pull it up right now. But yeah, here it is. If you're watching on the feed right now, yeah, we have it set up for you to pledge at 2 tiers, $5 and $10. And $5, it allows you to have access to maybe those bonus Patreon only episodes that Tyler just kind of mentioned. So that's why we want to bring on EU for a Patreon only episode, so you guys can shoot the crap with us, listen to a little bit more of what he has to say. You'll be able to take advantage of that. Discuss on us Scarves and Spikes merchandise. That's what we put out, scarves or something like that, tees, something like that. You'll have the ability to get discounts. And it's should be producer shout outs. I spelled it wrong. I put the wrong name, but producer shout out. So if you are a patron, you're considered a producer of the show at the $5 tier. So we'll give you a shout out during the broadcast. $10 a month tier, you're considered executive producer. We'll give you a shout out then. Again, that access to patron only episodes. With this tier, you'll have the ability to help us design merchandise that we may put out in the future. So that's limited to the first 15 patrons at the $10 level. We're also thinking about doing watch parties, watch alongs for our away matches. You'll have access to that at the $10 level. And occasionally we'll do, AM episodes. So you guys can ask us whatever you want, pretty much about anything you want. That's why it's called Ask Me Anything.
I did 3 push-ups today. 3. How many push-ups did you do today, Tommy? 3.
Trace. I will throw it out there. Maybe one day, not far in the future, we will offer other tiers as well once we kind of determine what we want to offer. But if you just want to give us money, I'll make sure we can send you like a picture of Tommy's feet or something.
No,
we're not going to do that.
My wife has a weird toe. I looked up about all that, but yeah, that's for a Patreon episode, I guess. She's got a weird toe.
AMA episode.
See, for $50 access to Tommy's fans only fans. Yes, I've been. When they said that they were setting this up, I was like, "Oh, OnlyFans," and I realized no, this is Patreon. It's a different thing. So.
Right? Yeah, no OnlyFans at this point.
That's why I did 3 push-ups this morning because I thought it was an OnlyFans. Jeez.
Yeah, but
I applaud your effort.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, shout out to those that have helped us already. Bo, $10. Colonel, who's on here today, $10. Appreciate him. Sonny's in here, $10. Appreciate him. T. Riddle, Omer, thanks for so much for your support, $10. And then David Hunter, Kalebe, Kevin, Melinda, Scott, 10. Those are $5 folks at this current point in time. So shout out to them as well as our producers. But again, the link is in the chat. The link is going to be in the comments, or not in the comments, but in the description if it's not already. But yeah, it's just patreon.com/scarves and spikes. And yeah, we really do appreciate your support in advance. So we'll shoot this out there on social as well. So thanks in advance for your support, and looking forward to seeing where this takes us.
Yep.
The watch parties will be pretty cool, because, from at least from my point of view, I and this is why one of the reasons why I thought that the spaces would be so much fun is you can talk to other fans, and like there's some people in other areas that aren't around here that don't have other people to talk to. So, I mean, that's what's fun about the post-game spaces. We hop on and we talk to people that normally we don't see, or they might be fans that don't have other people to talk to about the game. So, I mean, that's what it's for. So this will be, we'll send out a Zoom link and you can hop on or some other place and that we'll do it on, and you can join it. And you want to join video, cool. If you want to just be audio, that's cool as well. And let's talk about the game. Should be easier with Apple now because everybody will be on that stream. So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
And that's what's cool about it, guys. Like, that was part of the reason we started doing this in the first place with the Spaces show last year. You never know who was going to pop on. Like, I know we had various people listening last season. We had Eric Ronaldo that was listening at one point. We had people from Peru,
the team,
from Uruguay.
Were listening
people on the team. I remember
Jackson was in there once.
Yeah. people from Scotland, Ireland, all over the place, man. It's just these are the
Wales.
fans that you want to connect with and just enjoy, the friendship and the relationships. It's just a really, really distinct and unique culture that Atlanta has and able to bring in that kind of stuff. So it's just awesome. So yes, and more stuff will be coming with the Patreon.
Exactly.
Patreon right now, it's in its infancy. We're getting there. But we're going in the right direction with it, and we want to start offering you guys some good stuff. So that's where we're at now, and we will have more in the future. So I really can't wait to start designing the scarf. That's something I'm really excited about.
Is it just gonna be your face all over it, like just little Tyler's all over?
Yeah, like it'll be like this, and then it'll be like upside down, and then it'll be like sideways, and it'll be like, yeah,
just the picture of me hung over with the glasses.
Yeah,
right.
And the Joseph candle. All right. So, we made it through that. I really quickly want to go through, and it's not here anymore. Want to go through and hit on the quick news from the past week, just to get everybody caught up before we dive into Columbus. This will not take long. Sonny's saying I'm going to hold it up for the national anthem. I appreciate it. I cannot wait to see it. I want a picture. That's going to be awesome. So, all right. Last week, Jackson Conway loaned out to Phoenix Rising in the USL Championship. Great team for him to go to. I think probably one of the best USL teams that he could get some time in. Sydney, you were saying he actually got some time in that game, the first match.
Yeah,
right?
Made his debut against against San Diego Loyal yesterday. I think it was a quick run out, like maybe 15, 20 minutes, but Phoenix ended up losing that match 3-0 at San Diego Loyal. So yeah, Jackson's over there, and yeah, great move for him. I mean, it's never going to get a lot of time here with Atlanta United, so why not loan him out and get him some more playing time where he can play consistently. And yeah, best wishes to him, and I know Atlanta United fans will be watching his progress.
Yeah, I mean, you need the youth to play, and we said this last year, and we said it the year before, and unfortunately, it's kind of a broken record at this point. But if he's not going to play, you got to send him somewhere else. He's still a young player, and nothing hurts a player's development by sitting on a bench for an entire year. Look at possibly Atlanta United substitution this week, Eric Lopez. Perfect situation of that during COVID. Like, he didn't get to play soccer for basically a year. And then he came back, and it's kind of just been downhill from there with him, getting time to actually play. So it's for the best for him to get there, and hopefully comes back a different player.
Yeah,
the clock is ticking.
I like it. And Bruno saying it's the best thing that happened. He needs a new challenge and a chance of competing for minutes. And he's absolutely right. Like we've been saying it, he needed a loan somewhere. So yeah. Phoenix is a great team to get that time. They're a solid. Honestly, if I had a choice of any city and any team that was going to get bumped up to MLS, it wouldn't be Sacramento or some of these other teams. It would be Phoenix, because their stadium, everything about their experience is very, very intense and fun. So yeah, I think he'll enjoy it out there.
Yeah, and again, best wishes to him. And quickly, Mark saying Phoenix have a buyout option on Conway, so we'll see what comes with that.
Yeah, never know.
If that low.
All right, quick other news. Atlanta United 2, who kicks off this weekend against the Revs 2 on, I think, Saturday. Sunday. So they're going to be out this weekend. Definitely check them out. But they brought in a defender from Tormenta, from South Georgia Tormenta down in Statesboro, which, if you didn't know, won their championship last year. Great things going on in South Georgia with Tormenta, by the way. If you get a chance to check them out in any way, do it. They're just a well-run club in a small town in South Georgia. Probably don't have any business doing as well as they are, but they are killing it. They're really, really doing a great job. But the player that Atlanta United got from them, Fuad Adeniyi, I think he goes by Ade. I think it's his nickname. But it's a good get for the Twos. So excited to see him play for the Twos this year.
Yeah, perfect profile for the league. Perfect profile for MLS Next Pro.
Yeah,
as you said, Tyler has championship experience with Tormenta and USL League One, but now making a move to Atlanta United too. And I'm looking forward to seeing how he does with the twos and MLS Next Pro.
Definitely. All right. And then this next little bit, I think we'll kind of lump it all together. Caleb Wiley, the second youngest player to record back-to-back goal and assist matches behind Diego Fagundes in 2014. So Caleb Wiley making history again. Great things to see from him. Thiago Almada, first player in MLS history to have 4 goals and 4 assists in the first 4 matches. So history. He also won goal of the match week. Duh. One player of the match week. Duh. And for the club as a whole, Atlanta United was the first MLS club ever to earn 3 of the first 4 player of the week honors, to have a player that earned those honors. So just big time, man. Just good news for these guys.
12%. I think I saw my buddy posted that it was like we've already got 12% of the season's players of the week.
Yeah.
I did see there was a post about the what was it? Said Thiago Almada has more goal contributions through 4 games than Carlos Vela did in 2019 through the first 4 games. Vela had 3 goals, 2 assists. Almada's got 4 and 4.
If Almada can somehow figure out a way to stay in Atlanta this whole season, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
It's a wrap.
I do have a prediction about match week 5. I predict that, unfortunately, Thiago Almada will not win neither goal of the week, goal of the match day, or player of the match day. And there's a very good reason for that, because he'll be with Argentina.
With Messi.
But what if he still won it? What if he still won it?
That'd be unprecedented, even for Thiago.
Everything about that kid is unprecedented.
Yeah, exactly. With that said, do we want to talk about Columbus?
Yes, we do. Tommy, you're going to be there repping Scarves and Spikes. That'll be fun.
It's going to be raining, so I'm going to put my hood up just to get ready for it, because this is Columbus. It always rains when Atlanta's here. And we've had so many delays. There was 2018, there was a delay. 2019 during Open Cup, it was like an hour and a half delay starting the second half. And then last year there was a huge rain delay. There was a lightning delay last year. So yeah, it's been pretty crazy with what it is. But it looks like the storms will be happening early in the day, clearing up at night, and just cold and maybe some wind. But that's Ohio. So, the way I look at it, when it's this bad of weather, if it is bad, it's just everybody get home healthy.
Yeah, the story obviously will be, Atlanta United will be missing a number of players to international duty. The crew will be missing players as well. Cucho is injured, so I wrote about earlier in Dirty South Soccer. We expect to see Alex Betan there starting up top, as he did with Red Bulls. Degenek is going to be with Australia. Eloy Room is going to be with Curacao, and Zelarayan will be with Armenia. Kucha is injured, like I said, but also Molino is out 6 to 8 weeks for a knee procedure, and again, his knee has been acting up, so he'll be missing for that. But I think that's the extent of all that's missing. Nowhere near what Atlanta will be missing to the international duty, but that's the situation.
It's not in terms of like impact players, right? Like, I think that's the big thing. Almada going out is huge for Atlanta. Giakoumakis going out for Atlanta is huge. I mean, they're 2-year DPs right there. Now, granted, Columbus is also in a similar boat for different reasons. And after last season, I don't think any Atlanta fan ever wants to see anybody go out for injury, because it just sucks. But like, as an Atlanta fan, you also want your team to have the best chances possible to go get 3 points on the road. And I think you're looking at it now, especially you already should, I think, have looked at this game as one that Atlanta can really go up there and win. But over the past, 48 hours, there's been some of this news coming out. Cucho, I think his knee news came out, yesterday maybe?
Yep.
Yeah, he tweeted
tweeted it.
himself that he
Yeah.
was going to be out.
Yeah.
So you've kind of you start looking at it, and things are looking a lot more in Atlanta's favor. And I wrote an article in Dirty South. I'll try to post it in the comments, but it's kind of going into detail about like what does Pineda do, and that's kind of like what I want to open it up to for everybody. Is like, does Pineda go in and keep basically the same and make like for like subs? I say subs, but like for like, starters. Who do you have playing at the number 10 position where Almada will play? Obviously Barry's going to be up top. You're going to have to replace Miles Robinson with Noah Cobb, who that's going to be interesting. And I think it could be a breakout game for Noah in terms of getting his feet really, really wet, probably literally, in an MLS match. Thank you. You're welcome for that, by the way. And everybody shouting out Eric Lopez in the chat. I mean, I don't know, man. I just don't know that happens. But either way, there's so many options here for Pineda. There's lots. You can go in with, we're keeping everything the same, we're just changing the names, or do you maybe shore up the defense a little bit and drop Gutman back as a true center back and add in some other guys on that left hand side? What do you do?
I thought you said Guzan. You said Gutman. I was laughing. I thought you said Guzan.
Bring Gutman out. Guzan out, and then we'll just put Westberg back there. It'd be okay.
Right.
I think you keep the shape. I mean, as much as you can from there. But yeah, in the back, I just see Cobb coming there and maybe Gutman helping out a little bit more back there than usual. But someone asked if Rossetto was healthy, and from listening to Mike Conti and Jason Longshore, he was a full participant in practice yesterday, so that's good. So if he can play some minutes there, then it's gonna be really interesting how they set up that midfield for it. But you've got Sosa, and then he can play, and I think you keep Wiley and Aruju and Barry up front. I don't think you change it too much. I don't think you overthink this game, because I think if you just even get home with the draw, even get home with the point, I think that's a success here. But I think they still have an opportunity to win. It's really just going to come down to what that midfield looks like. And I see Sejdic playing the Almada role 100%.
Yeah, I will point out too, and Sydney, you jump in. But I just want to point out, because I've seen a lot of people commenting today that I don't know. I hope I'm not missing something, because I wrote an article about it too. But Etienne is playing international. He's on international duty. He's not going to be there. He is
right.
So, quick time to just drop in something. So Derek Etienne, if you're listening, by the way, this is shout out. He does not like or appreciate the disrespect that was showed to Violette from Haiti, the team that beat Austin in the Champions League. Do not post that disrespect and let Derek Etienne see it. He's got eyes everywhere. He's watching. But for good reason. Like, everybody's like, "Oh, Austin sucks. Austin sucks." Nobody wants to give credit to the team that actually beat Austin 3-0. Got to give credit where it's due, man. So, but he wanted everybody to put that out there, that don't bring that disrespect to me. So,
right
there you go.
It was a cool moment. I mean, that was a cool moment. Like, when you go back and understand, they haven't been able to play much, and they come in, they get that big win.
Yeah,
good for them.
It was huge. I mean, exactly. Not even able to bring in their entire team into the country because of everything. Like, that was for them to pull that upset out was awesome. Really, really fun to see. So, and that's what the Champions League is all about anyway, right? Like, you can expect that the bigger team's going to go in and do work, but that's not how it plays out all the time. So that was fun. That was fun to see.
Yeah. But going back to Columbus, I mean, who are we thinking, as far as starting 11 is concerned? I mean, obviously, Barry's the striker. You got Wiley and Louise on the wings, maybe.
Yep.
Seeing people talking about Fortune at the 10, I was kind of thinking that, but I don't know if he's ready. He's still very green. I don't think Pineda will do it. I think he'd much sooner put Rossetto in there. Not to say that he will. I think he'd much sooner put Rossetto, or what AJ said, just play flat midfield with Sosa, Sejdic, and Ibarra. I think he probably will do that. That seems more likely. Gutman, Lennon on the end defensively, Parata, Cobb, center backs, and Gazan in goal. I mean, that seems pretty straightforward. But yeah,
I mean, there's only one, and again, I see it popping up in the comments too, and it's just something I put in my article, which I'll just drop it in the chat. But you really only have one other true number 10 option, and this is no knock against him at all, but Almada, we already know, is a special player. Do I think Tyler Wolff can handle it in this match? I do. But you also have to throw in the factors of, like, he hasn't played. He's been injured. His shoulder's been messed up. So do you want to just drop him in to one of the most important roles on the pitch away, probably in a torrential downpour or a swamp or whatever, and rely on him to make things happen? I don't think you do. Now, great option off the bench to really change things up later on the match. But, like, I just don't – that's the only thing that would throw a big wrench into the like-for-like setup, I think. Because you can drop Cobb in at Miles' spot, and I think Cobb's going to do okay. You've got either Sosa or Ibarra. Ibarra's playing like a maniac right now, so I don't think you change that up. But Sosa's there. Sejdic is there doing well. Rossetto could come on, depending on his health. You don't change up Wiley and Araujo, I don't think.
Absolutely not.
And then Barry is your main option up top, and I really do think Barry's got one in him personally. But that leaves
against his old team.
Yeah.
What's that?
Against his own old team.
Yeah. This is an opportunity to really, put your stamp on a match, and to have a backup goalkeeper. Backup striker score for Atlanta was like, that's a rare occurrence. So it would be really, really nice.
even more rare of a backup goalkeeper score.
That is, but hey, this season it can happen. You never know.
Okay.
But yeah, Johnny Fortune definitely a good shout, depending on where you want to put him. There's just options here, and I think it would be a lot easier if you weren't losing so much at the number 10 spot. And again, that's not any disrespect to Tyler Wolff. I just think it's probably not optimal to just throw him into the lineup suddenly.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
The other option is move Araujo over as the number 10. And then you got to start looking at your other wing options, like bringing McFadden on and having him kind of as a, I mean, I think he did well when he was playing 4 or 5 games last season. I don't think he was a bad option, but you would have to start kind of reaching down into other players that haven't played if you start doing something kind of interesting like that.
I was gonna say devil's advocate. I mean, if you make the argument that Wolff hasn't played, you have to make the same argument for McFadden.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't know if we see him, but yeah, definitely a lot of decisions for Pineda to make, and yeah, it's not like he didn't see it coming. But we'll see.
I mean, but the thing is you do have an extremely healthy midfield right now, which is kind of funny to say. I mean, Sosa's coming off the suspension; he's back playing again. Sejdic is playing more or less full matches. Rossetto is going to be coming off injury. Ibarra is playing full matches. So if it comes down to it, put 3 of them out there and let your midfield be locked down, because you're going to have your hands full with Darlington Nagbe in midfield. So do you keep it out wide, spray it out wide for these wingers and the guys that like to get forward like Lennon and Gutman, or do you lock down the midfield with 3 of your healthy midfielders and just have one guy up top? So
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, Scott McFarland here says, I prefer we make as few changes as possible, keep players like Araujo in their current spot, and just slot someone in for Almada. And there is no replacement for Almada, obviously, and no team really has a replacement for him. But yeah, I mean, that's you want to keep the game plan as close as you can with everybody. I think when you overthink a match in week 5, I think that's when you really start to have problems. So
Yeah.
I don't see them jumping the shark and trying to change everything here. So yeah, I don't think that we see too many changes. It's just going to be really interesting. I think everything's pretty predictable except the midfield and how they fit that all together here. But I mean, there's going to be other call ups this year too, and I don't think there's many breaks at all during the MLS season. So this is what happens when you have talented players. They get called up, and we're just very lucky at this point that we're playing a team that has also got a lot of guys out as well. Because there's some teams that just don't have many guys that get called up, and we're just lucky to be matched against one that is.
Yeah, I agree. AJ saying in the chat, personally, I haven't seen Cobb play. What can I expect? Real quick on Noah Cobb. I mean, I'll go back to the quote that Carlos Bocanegra said in the offseason. Like his quote was, Noah Cobb has future U.S. men's national team player written all over him. It's big words coming from your technical director for sure, but he's not wrong, I don't think. I mean, Noah, he captained the MLS Next Pro All-Star team or MLS Next All-Star team last season. He did a great job in that match, but if you were watching him with the twos, he is on a very similar trajectory. And I hate to compare, but he's on a similar trajectory to Miles Robinson. Is he going to be Miles Robinson? Is he going to be better than Miles? I don't know, but he is at 18 still, 18 years old. Either way, very young. He is on the right path. I can tell you that for sure. He can hold his own against some big guys. He's quick. He knows the position well. Parada talked about it last week about how he's been helping him a lot with his positioning, kind of the mental aspect of the game that you've seen Miles grow in over the years. So I think this is going to be a big, big game for Cobb, not because I think he's got to be pressured, but I just think this is a chance for him to show out, and it's a game that he can show out in. It's not like you're going up against an LAFC or a Seattle, where you're going to be really, really put through the ringer. This is a chance for him to play against a solid squad, but one that you have a good chance against. So I'm excited for him. I think this is great for him.
Yeah. So how are we feeling about predictions?
Yeah. Let's hit them. Who we got first?
I'll go first. I think it's 1-1. You have to take into account that both sides are missing players. The weather's going to be a little tricky, and the field is going to be a little not soaking wet, but a little soggy from the weather earlier. You could maybe have threats of rain throughout the rest of the day. So yeah, I'm going to say 1-1. I say Barry scores, or Miguel scores for Atlanta United. And yeah, you remain unbeaten and essentially get a point, which is pretty much a good scenario for a team missing a big chunk of its lineup.
0-0.
Oh my God. This guy.
0-0.
Where was that optimism that you had earlier?
I'm optimistic. It's if the weather's okay, fine. Let me go back here. No, wait, hold on. If the weather is still bad, 0-0. If it's clear and the weather's there, 1-0 Atlanta.
Okay.
I am going 2-0 to Atlanta. And I'm going to be going with Araujo. And I'm really struggling between either Barry or Wiley. I just don't know. Like, I feel like Barry's got it coming. But Wiley is just that guy right now. So I flip a coin. I don't know. I'll go with Barry. I'll go with Barry. Nothing against Caleb. Caleb gets an assist somehow.
Okay.
2-0.
Sonny, you're right. I do have my hood up for already because I'm already expecting the rain.
And the 25 to 35 mile an hour winds. It may not be raining by the time the match starts, but it's gonna be windy. That's
not terrible. In Ohio, we're used to that.
I mean, yeah, but we're not in Atlanta coming up there.
They'll be fine. Look, if they could play in that soggy field they did a few years ago, they can handle a little bit of wind.
That was bad.
That's
That game never should have been played.
I actually got to move down to front row. Like I got right behind the bench because everybody left.
Wow.
See, I've never been that lucky. That happened at a Braves game one time. 2-hour rain delay. Half the stadium left, so we got like right down the third base line. Got
Free seat upgrades.
Yeah.
It's living.
All right. So we've hit on, we've hit on so much. We got predictions. We've described every tactic that Pineda could possibly employ against Columbus with all the changes. DJEU was, that was awesome. That was awesome. Portland, keep riding that high for as long as you possibly can. The Patreon, guys, please check it out. And tell all your folks to subscribe to us on YouTube and Twitch. Keep it coming. Seeing everybody else's predictions. 0-3, 1-1. We had a couple 2-0s. We got a 3-1. So we're all over the place with this one. It'll be curious to see how it plays out. But yeah, make sure you guys subscribe on YouTube. Definitely check us out there. Twitch. Scarves, the letter N Spikes on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And then as for us three, I'm ATL Pilgrim. Sydney is at SH Wrights. Tommy is Tommy ATL 96. What else we got? Or have I hit on everything?
I think that's it.
The name change to the audio podcast. I mean, you've listened, you probably already heard it, but if you didn't, last thing, if you're listening to this after the fact via audio on a podcatcher, Spotify, whatever, the name for the Dirty South Soccer Podcast Network will be changing. It's not going to affect you in terms of listening to us or Five Stripe Final. You ain't got to do anything. You ain't got to change nothing around. Just know that it's not going to be called the Dirty South Soccer Podcast Network. It will now be called the Atlanta Soccer Podcast Network. That's it.
Yes.
So, and with that, I think it is time to see us out. We do appreciate it, guys. Thank y'all. It's been a fun one, and we had a lot of people on, and we all really appreciate all y'all's support. It's awesome.
Remember,
See you on the
subscribe.
Spaces.
Yep,
Yeah.
like, subscribe on YouTube, and appreciate you all, and we'll see you next time.
Later.